In most companies 30 years ago, when an employee came and joined the company, they thought in their head that this is the company I'm going to work for my whole life. The old contract was therefore a contract which said, I will work for you for 30 years. And in exchange for giving you my loyalty, in exchange for selling your products to your customers at your price, working in your offices for your salary, doing things your way, what will you give me? And the company said, we will give you this job as long as you want it. We will give you security. So loyalty for security. How many companies can offer security these days? We wish we could. If you're an employer, I know you want to, but you can't. And as I said earlier, I grew up in South Africa, and for me there are some very, very interesting parallels between South Africa's history and Iran's history. Right now, in Iran's history, given your political situation, your economic situation, the international economic situation, the context of the whole Middle East, there is nobody in this room that can give security to their employees. Nobody. Now that's I'm not criticizing. That's not your fault. That's the nature of the world of work now. The world has changed. The good news is today's young people aren't expecting it either. They don't expect it. I don't know of anybody under the age of 30 who, when they join a company, thinks this is the company they're going to work for the rest of their lives. In fact, the very opposite. Most of them think, I'm going to stay at this company about 2 to 3 years, learn as much as I can, then I'm going to move on. Is that true in your experience? I'm seeing quite a few of the younger people smiling here. Because you don't normally tell this to your boss when you go for a job interview. But I think it's a good question that you should be asking people on their first day of work. How long do you expect to stay here? On their first day of work, I would ask that question. Now, of course, they're going to think it's a trick question. And they're going to tell you a lie and say, oh, 20 years. You know they're lying, so you push them and say, no, be honest. It's not a trick question. And find out what it is they're really thinking. Most of them, I'm guessing, would be 3 to 5 years. Now that you know that information, now that you know that's what is in their head, now you can work with them. And say, so how do we make this 3 to 5 years the best 3 to 5 years for you and the best 3 to 5 years for us? I think that's the new nature of the employment contract. It's no longer, I employ you, I pay your salary, so you do what I tell you to do. The new contract is, what's good for you? What's good for me? How do we get a win-win solution? Something that both of us get something out of. And if you don't like that, and I know especially older people don't necessarily like that thought, that you have to negotiate a bit more with your staff. Well, if you don't like that thought, don't employ young people. You don't have to. Nobody's forcing you to employ young people. But if you need to employ young people, or if you want to employ young people, or if you would like a little bit of innovation and creativity in your company, and you need young people, well, then you're going to have to change your mindset around what young people actually want from the workplace. The easiest thing, by the way, is to ask them what they want. If you can't offer security, how do you think you're going to get loyalty out of them? Well, good news is I think I actually have an answer for you. That's not just a question. The answer is, and I would be fascinated to know how Sepe is going to translate this word, but the answer is if you want loyalty, you have to give them employability. It's a made-up word. What it means is that today's young people, more than anything else, and this is true all over the world, more than anything else, what today's young people want is the confidence that they can get any job they want whenever they need it. That's what I call employability. They have the ability to be employed. That means that they have to develop their skills. That means that they have to develop their CV, their resume. That means they have to develop their own personalities. And as long as they feel they are learning, as long as they feel they are growing and developing, they will be very happy to work for you. Does this, for some of you, and I'm seeing a few of you nod, but does this make some sense for some of you of what some of the young people are doing in your offices even today? Of some of the attitude that young people have? If that's the attitude young people have, we need to change our attitude as employers. Not that we give them everything they ask for, then they'll behave like spoiled children. But we need to understand that to get the best out of them, maybe a different type of employment relationship is required. So that's point number one, that we need to understand the different expectations of today's talent and adjust our management style appropriately.